All right, day 25, I think. Yes, day 25 of the split. Last day of the split, arms and abs, and some neck stuff. This split has proven to me just how important it is for recovery to be prioritized. Having those 2 days of having those 2 off days last week really helped me with learning that just the recovery, like I said earlier, recovery is as important as the lifts themselves, as is nutrition. Nutrition I'm still working on, I'm weighing in at 219 today. I'm still at the same, the average is around like 218.4 over the last 2 months, which isn't necessarily bad. Hold up, let me get some water real quick. But, I think this first 30 days of trying this out with documenting my progress, now that I'm visibly able to see it, it doesn't. I'm happy to see that I make progress on a day-to-day basis, on a split-to-split basis, but I think learning or seeing those minor improvements, now that I understand the big picture, and then seeing the little things get worked, the little gears get placed in there in the right places, and seeing that optimize the big picture is helping a lot. So, getting my recovery process down has never been something that I've ever thought through. I've never prioritized it or given it the priority that I should have. I used to always tell myself I didn't need more than 5.5, 6 hours of sleep, and while I can function on 5 to 6 hours of sleep, I perform best on 7 to 8. And acknowledging that reality, I'm not superhuman, and I need to acknowledge those biological factors that I guess I've always thought of them as being normal as a crutch, and you need to have something special in order to make it, quote unquote. That's not really the case, Once I realized I'm doing this for my own growth at the end of the day, and I'm doing this because I want to, learning to optimize it to fit my needs, to fit my wants, and controlling that is how, changing that mindset, it has helped me a lot with this process. There's still a long way to go, as always, but I think rather than, I'm at that stage where I understand how to move and I understand what I need to do at the gym to improve muscle mass and blah 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 and all that, right? But now I'm figuring out how the rest of it ties in, nutrition and recovery specifically. Of course, there's many other factors to training and how and what stress levels and all that and how they impact your training. But at the end of the day, the 3 pillars being nutrition, the workout, and recovery, as long as you maintain a general level of if I'm perfect at the workout, right, and then I do great at my recovery and good at my nutrition, then that'll average out and I'll be somewhere in the gray area, right? And it's kind of you guys know, if you guys ever played FIFA, where your player card has these averages, or well, not the averages, but has these scores based on passing, running, blah 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 blah, and that the overall score is the average of that. I see that training or the gym, bodybuilding, because that is what I'm doing at this point, is similar to that. Where if I'm doing nutrition at a 90% and recovery at a 90% and then fitness or the workout at 99%, I don't believe in the 100%. I don't think that's real. I don't think anybody could ever be perfect at any given thing. You know, while practice does make perfect, it gets you closer and closer to perfection, but no one could ever be perfect. And I think that's why we all strive for the more the next day, you know. But you should never let perfect be the enemy of good enough. And I think that's where I've always fallen off, is that I've always tried to aspire for perfection, and in aspiring for perfection, I've lost sight of what could just be good to get me to that next day, to get me that 1% of growth per day. And it's a humbling experience, but it's also like, I love learning this stuff. This is pretty great. Anyways, that's all for today. Hey, Mama. I'll see y'all at the gym. Alright, so we started with some curls, just focusing on getting the mind muscle connection going before we hit any major movements. Similar to last week and the week before, we just stuck to squeezing, nothing too heavy, 35 pounds. I think I did 2 sets of these. I went for, I think, 10, maybe 8 on each side with the alternating curl, and then I moved over to just a hammer curl because that was just to get the little bit extra bit of exhaustion on the muscle before I went into the major the preacher curl movements. I only did arm days are always kind of short, you know. We're just doing like 5-6 sets per movement, because I mean, sometimes we do drop sets, sometimes not. I don't think no, I did. Yeah, as you can see here, I finished up with some hammer curls. I did one more set of these before I moved on to preacher curls. Preacher curls, I did 2 different variations. One with the easy bar that you see here, and then you see the weight underneath the easy bar. That's what I'm going to use after. So I go for as many as I can. I think this is 60 pounds. I start at the top so I can feel the full contraction before I make my way down. Take my time as much as I can. On that second rep, you see me go back a little bit up because I want to make sure that contraction's there the whole time. I noticed halfway through that I really should be bringing my elbows out a little more. I think the angle is a little too close, and so it kind of hits more the brachialis muscle and the outer bicep rather than the inside, the internal bicep head. Which it kind of already is being done with this variation of the preacher curl. So I think I did this for 2 sets before I made the change. Hopefully it's in the next video, just so you can have an example of what I'm trying to get at. But I'm really doing the dumbbell, that weighted. I like. I might do it here. Hopefully it's in this video. I did this for 4 sets before I moved on to triceps. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for an arm day, I waited until the evening. I kind of had a fairly busy morning this morning. First meeting was at 8, so I didn't want to risk having to minimize the workout any more than I already do. I started moving the weight a little faster here. I think this may have been the second to last, if not the last set. Going to full exhaustion,
feeling pretty good. Uh, Mind you, the weight isn't exactly heavy. It's just maintaining that contraction the whole way in and out of the movement can be a bit it's tiring, and that's the point of it. You want to exhaust the muscle as efficiently as possible. Like I don't know what my curl max would be, but I'm sure I could probably do more than the 60-pound easy bar. But that's the point, right? You want to maximize what you're doing with without um, causing or without putting more stress on the body than necessary. Like if you can do a 50-pound curl and get the same amount of effort or contraction and muscle breakdown as you would with an 80-pound, why go for the 80-pound? Unless you're just, there's different situations, of course, when you go heavier, you're pushing more weight and that helps exhaust the muscle more, but are the ranges, are the reps good? The quality of the reps good? All that. And I'm sure like I'll get there eventually, so I'm not too stressed about how much weight I'm lifting. Anyways, moved over to triceps after that. The main machines were kind of occupied, so I came over here to this lat pull down machine and just did single arm pull downs, tricep extensions, and they feel pretty good. As you can see here, the horseshoe shape is coming out fairly nicely. Um, I think my right arm is a little more defined in the tricep than my left arm, which is kind of odd. I noticed my left bicep is a little bigger than my right bicep, which is, I'm sure it's back from my deadlifting days, similar to how my lats are a little, what's it called? Non-symmetrical, but it just takes work to get the symmetry going. Um, I wasn't doing anything too heavy, maybe like 90, 100 pounds per arm. I did do drop sets on the last two sets of this movement. I wasn't too focused on trying to get most of my, or like looking for rep count here. I was just looking to push to exhaustion. Of course, these muscle groups get worked during my back and chest days, so I'm not trying to like on my back and chest days. The intention is to overexhaust, because I only have 1 day for the split, and within a 7 day time period. So I'm doing as much as I can with the time that I have for those. With arms and shoulders, they get worked while you're doing those major movements, right? So the work that is required to get the benefits that you're looking for within that split, within this 7 day split, especially, I don't necessarily need to be pushing the limits beyond a certain point. Of course, I'm still doing my best. Like as you can tell here, every rep is going to full extension. I'm focusing on every rep, but I'm not trying to, go for that extra, the last little burning reps, where like you see me doing on my normal days, or upper chest push, pull, and leg movements. Sorry, that took a while to come out. Anyways, I moved over to these. I wanted to try this variation of, I guess, leg raises with alternating the ball between my legs. I did 5 sets of these. First set I only did 12, and that didn't really get me a burning sensation that you usually look for when you're doing abs. But I did feel like I had a little more control with the ab movement. Like I was able to contract my lower abs fairly well throughout the entirety of the movement, and maintain that contraction while I'm moving my legs like these. I could be pointing them a little straighter, and a couple of the reps you see where my feet are touching the ground a little bit, but that's progress. Like I said before, abs was never really a major focus of mine up until recently. I tried to focus here. This is my last set before finishing up, but I tried to focus on keeping my feet up throughout the movement here, and kind of looking up. I noticed in the early sets, looking down made me bring my feet down a little more. Well, see here, when I'm looking up, I'm raising it a little more. The contraction, you can tell I'm a little more focused in the movement. So yeah. Um, I'm tired. Just finished my meal. I'm looking forward to going to bed. I'm really liking how this split is going. I'm looking forward to my next 2 days of recovery. But yeah, all in all, a great way to end this split. Yeah, I think for the next couple weeks, it's going to be honing down on recovery and nutrition. And we should have a pretty good come out from this. Anyways, I'll see you all on Friday.